나가서 rangi semle pa ta chin ane nyomo pa ki gi mindu tanga zo lega kharache bana kulno di ta tam nyanda ta ane rangi digi tubya ane jike shenle nebe samba ta deni gi kulno nyomo pa ondo songdo mindu se cheba simju che deni shi singe du da deni gi yoba thonson lamsa dembi gi 안델에 님보 가르가르 삼당고데 파 님보디게 파 삼다시 온도시 님보 땡지랑도 그디나 도스네 아니 셴리아 펜바다 셴리기 디기 주야게 제도 안도스네 아니 그디나 게세 전시 셈바디게 도스는 거래 디네 장아즈네 디나신지네 도스제도와 제하게 배수 제고래세 가상한도 디고시로와
Yesterday we were talking about the need for us as aspirant bodhisattvas to practice just like bodhisattvas in the particular context of always being aware of our mind, that our mental state is our responsibility, and therefore it is our responsibility to ensure that our mind stays in accordance with the aspirations of bodhisattvas. And whenever we notice through the utilization of introspection that our mind is now gone back to an ordinary way, where it's under the influence of the afflictions. When introspection notices that, then immediately, in dependence on mindfulness, we need to recall the antidotes and apply them. And in this way, ensure that our mind is always under the influence of the two aspects of not harming others in any way, but benefiting others as much as one can. So this is, in brief, what we looked at yesterday. Today we continue looking at the next practice of bodhisattvas, which is about how to immediately eliminate the afflicted minds the moment they start to arise.
ādi tā nyōmōng gōm nā nyīmbū tō kāwē zhēnshī kīwī nyīmbū tsūn sōng nē chā sō nyōmō dāngbō kēmā tā mbūrjōm chēbā kēsē lā lē yīnshē.
It is very difficult to counteract afflictions to which we are greatly habituated, armed with antidotes, the guards of mindfulness and introspection. As soon as afflicted minds such as attachment start arising, immediately destroying them is the practice of bodhisattvas.
단다 뭐 저기 변에 두신도 직시에나 두기 신지 여바이나 디마 기디 누구 춘춘이야 기디 누구 주의디급라 마 지게 철라다스 매워서 샤바나 세디고 요래지래 제가 대 남산 데니기 누구디 기디급라야 마수와시 두 샤샤베네 누고 침불 철철철철 동부 침부 차야도 아니 매워서야라 깔레카레스 제가 디니자 아니 신동라 첨보차나 되네 되네 매워서야 깔레카 책으로와 어디 나시래 제래 당하나 주길래 당보 직대래 녀몽 검나 님비 도가외 세당하나 주길래 녀몽 대차 공조 나야 되네 현재 네베 삼바르 시계베나 남산기 되네 디매바 마쇠바시 두 샤샤베네 근데 대샤로 지네 근데 샤샤베네 근데 또 전되셔야 봐 슈처처처처 그래서 지난 체제로도 마음바나 제리아 되셔야 매바서야래야 아니 깔레카 차그래서 지난 또 가위에서도 매바서야라 깔레카고를 파도야래야 깔레카고 차그래서 니나신 콩로이네 양세 콩로사바나 근데 양세 야네서 근데 콩로사야 가야래야 되서 깔레카고 차그래서 지난 나야당 유몽 가리네 당보네 기용도네 나서 매바 마쇠제도 샤샤바네 되는 유모데 나 로리아 검시를 태지네 안디기 가방야를 빼가래 가고 자고 그래서 제가 유모 검나 님비 도가위에서 님보때 갈래 가고 자고래 님보때 님보지 공부이네야 바 남상 아니 매바소야를 갈래 가고 자고 그래지래.
Just like if a thorn tree is just starting to sprout. If we then were to apply some herbicide, we'd very easily be able to kill it. But if we left it, then that sprout would grow rapidly into a big, powerful thorn tree, which we would then struggle to destroy. So similarly, we need to take care of our minds, and as soon as we see an affliction sprouting, immediately deal with this. Here in the first line, it says, it is very difficult to counteract afflictions to which we are greatly habituated. We need to be clear then that every affliction, whichever it is, whether it's attachment, anger, pride, jealousy, harmful intent, these are never our friends. They are never justified. We need to eliminate them as soon as we are aware of their presence, because if we allow them to grow, or we don't notice them and they grow and become strong and dominant within us, then it is very difficult to eliminate them.
tung dine chide an lamsa ka ma tho bai na dine chang tung ya da du se mang bo se cha mang bo sa jia lang shuo san dine gom xi de jia lang shuo san dine ane dine gi nian bo dian de ga le ha bu le nian bo dian je pa ji zam xia de be ga le ka wo cha ge ye su lo on be ro di cha go be di na xi de.
For example, knowing the danger that being intoxicated poses to oneself, in that one does not have control over one's way of thinking and thereby behavior. If one inadvertently drinks some alcohol, then or takes an illicit drug, immediately, if one notices this, and stops, then it's not going to have much of an impact on one at all. But if one doesn't notice or doesn't stop, then once one is intoxicated, then it's very difficult to become to apply an antidote and to eliminate the impact of that intoxication. It's difficult to prevent oneself from acting under the influence of the alcohol or the illicit drugs.
Leo de lamsa hago de lamsa pa gatom jeje an jike tapsi chebena ani ko joboro meba se tu ya ro chisada lamsa de gatom maje ji tapsi mada de sha je de ne me mongbo le chap je ne de ne gale so ya le gale ko ju cha de ga de nga ju di ro cha go ro.
And similarly, if one notices that one has some symptoms of the coronavirus, feeling feverish and having a dry cough, and if one notices this, one has then the possibility to take action, isolate from others, and so forth. If one doesn't notice the symptoms or ignores them, feeling that it's not a big deal, then it can become gravely problematic.
The nigi new mode Zangpo Jiyong de nan ko du shen de xia xia bai na gom xi tie ji de jie lia do nian bu dian jie ba me ba so ge le ka bu de se. De nan ne ga che wo de lam na zhen xi ji bi nian bu cun song ni se do da. Dang an ju ge dang an zu ma de jie bai na ma me di ge la hua le ya cun jie kie jie ane bei xue cun jie de bei xue dang jie ane me ba su go lo wa pa ju zha hua de zhong bu lo an di na xin da Zangpo xi jin yi di ma zu ge de ne ge jie bu na xin jie an di ge Zangpo xi jin yi di ge an sam dang jin an nian bu ga ya de le nian bu dian gu de nian bu dian gu de zhen xi ji bi nian bu cun song ni se de Zangpo xi jin yi ge Zangpo ge niu mo ba de ji ge du ye min du se de pa dang bo xim ju jie lam sang niu mo ba ji yong de ne Zangpo de ge zhen jin o da di niu mo ba ji so da di ji niu mo ba de du lam sang me ba ma so ba yin na ane ji ya bo ma sam je ane me ba so ya la nian bo ka ka ding yu me de di ding go di sam lam sang zhen bi ge nian bo dian de zhen tu ba ji gu le ji de zhen xi ji bi nian bi cun song ni se de.
it is very difficult to counteract afflictions to which we are greatly habituated. So this then we understand in a couple of ways. That firstly, when the affliction is strong within us, it's very difficult then to counteract it. You could almost say it's then too late. It has control over us. The second way to understand that is due to being so habituated to them. We're very familiar to these afflictions seem very familiar to us. Their presence is not surprising. Their presence is not unusual. They do not stand out, and therefore, because we are so familiar with them, they easily not only arise, but become dominant. So how should we deal with this situation? Firstly, recognize it, and then secondly, as it's presented in the second line, armed with antidotes, the guards of mindfulness and introspection. So here, we need to act like the bodhisattva warrior who's striving to overcome all the inner obstacles, everything that is preventing them from becoming the most skilled of guides. Just like the bodhisattva warrior, we must utilize their same weapons of mindfulness and introspection. So introspection is the mind that constantly keeps watch on our other mental processes. It's one mind looking at the others. To put it technically, one mental factor watching the others. Always being aware, self-aware of one's mental process. Investigating, analyzing, seeing which minds are now arising, which are now dominant. So this is the process or the function of introspection. And as soon as introspection is aware of an unwanted mind, a sprout of a thorn tree arising, an affliction, then its companion, mindfulness, recalls the antidote to apply. It recalls firstly the danger of the afflictions, and secondly, the antidote that needs to be applied, and then is applied. So these are the companions, these just like a bodhisattva warrior will have their weapons, we utilize those same weapons against the enemy of the afflictions, namely mindfulness and introspection.
Jesa ni xixin gi susu gi la dösha gi gu de, ane kontro gi gu de, nga ya gi gu de, shen le ge nube samba gi gu de, sin ti tu kar chi susu gi jawa ta lega kar chebe na dine kabla dine gi gu de min de sam da che, ane xixin gi cheba che, xixin gi dine gi dösha jawa 다 콘르 겨 가르 녀모 가르키베네 람사 하 고요도 안데 담베기 델야 녀모 가르가르 띵규메데 담바리 파텐체 안데 녀보티 담베 진치 녀보테 담베 진 녀보 띵고 고레체데 어디 세고를.
So again, introspection is ever vigilant, always aware of our mental process, always watching for the arisal of the afflictions, watching for the arisal of attachment, of anger, of harmful intent, of any affliction, and doing so when we are alone, doing so when we're with others, doing so when we're not doing anything, doing so no matter what we are doing. Introspection is ever vigilant, always on guard, watching for the arisal of the afflictions. And as soon as one is noticed, its companion mind, mindfulness, reminds us of the faults of the afflictions and the required antidote that needs to be applied right now. Nyempo tenye de drempa yamenamade. Nyempo drenye drempa de. Nyempo
tenye dige temba dige nyempo gargar 고이면 댕고로와. 댕지들이 nyempo 공부 땡고로와.
Nyempo tenki de drempa tenki ma.
담배기 nyempo 댕고 그래. 근데 봐 냠부 땡뒤에 담바 거래다. 님도 담바 거러와. 담바 땡고래. 아디네 자다 차소 녀모 당보게 마다 무좀 제바 제셀라레 인세. 지다 차바다 되차다 공로다 녀모라다 그래 기나 당보네 단 디니기 녀모바 매바 쇠데라 내가 매바 쇠 지당 안 사보나 제바 빵네 매바 쇠 차고 니 용고래 매바 쇠 다들라 다 디인자 다 사보나 제베 예 제네 매바 쇠데라 또 균중부 고고로와 디니 자 당보네 님 내가 ma meba soya meba soya deni sabona jebadi meba soya ruada rimbaru shimasona deni yinzang chaso nyumo dangbo jema ta sidu janju semba namgi nyamlin dangbo nyamlin jidu kabla soso gyula nyumomba kari kiyunimidu sheshingi cheba che deni sheshingi nyumomba kari kiyuba hako yondu lamsan dele nyembo tenche Tembiki, Nimbo di Tingore, di Gomgore, di Nyoma Dikena, Nimbo di Gomgore, Nyoma Dikena, Nimbo di Gore, Tembiki, Tenche, and Lamsa, Chabe Nyomobatiki, Gemato the Lamsa, Pangunju Gaje, Papurjum Jeva, among you Gaji Yamlin Jevares. Tizada, Janjusembanamki Yema, the Nik Yamlinje. The Nikita, Janjusim Gule, yes, Hane, then the Janjus Nyomogi, the Niki, Sabona Jeva Payalia, Nimbo Tenche, near Tembiki, and the Nimbo Ten. And Odushin Gomje and the Yomo Bango Rege, Odushin Geshe Sembanamgi, or Yamlin is Nango Rege.
As soon as afflicted minds such as attachment start arising, immediately destroying them is the practice of bodhisattvas. Here, bodhisattva, through having come trained in all his preceding trainings, knows very well that the afflicted minds are never one's friend. The afflicted minds only bring harm, and they are never justified. They are never to be welcomed, but always to be counteracted immediately. Moreover, in regard then to the afflicted minds, the bodhisattva knows two key aspects. One, can recognize what is an affliction, thereby never being deceived by them. Secondly, they understand clearly the faults of the afflictions, thereby never justifying them. Moreover, in addition to knowing, being able to recognize skillfully the afflictions and know their faults, the bodhisattva also knows the antidotes to the afflictions, as well as how to apply the antidotes. So the two aspects, knowing the antidotes and how to skillfully apply them. So this is important because there's such a variety of afflictions and they require their specific antidotes so as to be able to overcome them. And as beginner practitioners, including as beginner bodhisattvas, it is difficult to completely eradicate the afflictions. So therefore, the specific antidote to the individual affliction needs to be applied, knowing that this will temporarily deal with the affliction, temporarily eliminate the affliction. It won't be able to eradicate it from its very root, and thereby one can have certainty that it will never arise again. This is very difficult for beginner bodhisattvas and certainly for ourselves. So therefore, we need to become knowledgeable and skilled in the application of the variety of antidotes, and this needs to be done in conjunction with becoming knowledgeable and skilled in recognizing the afflictions, knowing clearly their faults.
Dini zada ngaro zo yini janju semba namgi dangbo nyamlen jidu ani nyomo badege lamsan kigidu kari dugumine jamba la shi shingi jeba je shi shingi nyomo je tongdu dele ya jambegi nyembo tinadege nyembo kara tingume lamsan jambegi tenje ne nyembo tenje nyomo badege ya ngondu gyurma juba je ma ngondu gyurma juba je ma nyomo badege kago res and dinigi nangche and jelia and gili chin dini nyomo saba janju sem gyule ke sawe jela dini nyomo saba na jeba bayagi ya gomje and dongbangi to be shero gomje nyamne dus na rewa jisan janju sem ban mi din na na shi da ngara zu ine ya ngara zu gyula da ngara zu lia kare chebe na dinigi jebi ka ngara zu susu gyula ki di ne da nyomo ba de ja kondro ngaja jela nebe samba and 지금 가래 기기도 민도 셈베게다 소소야 시신기 봐 제바체 시 파다 되니게 남사 뉴모바 개와 되샤라서 개와 통야다 콘로라서 개와 통야다 되샤께서나 남사 오다디 되샤디 기기도 제사 대야 야델이야 님보 땡구구리 셈베 남사 템베 텐체 님보 땡타디 님보 땡야다 콘로께나 오다 콘로 기기도 제사 된대야 콘로디 님보 땡구레 삼지도 시 님보 땡체 아니 마 남사 대송원도 규르마죠제 마 만 그소래 영원도 규르마죠제 까고 두고야 돼 예치 못 차고 안주에도 제고 거러다
So we need to train just like bodhisattvas, relying on these close companions, these helpers of mindfulness and introspection. Mindfulness is introspection is what recognizes that an affliction has arisen. Mindfulness is what recalls the danger of the affliction and its the antidote that needs to be applied. And then the third step is that we then apply that antidote with vigor. And in this way, we, just like bodhisattvas, will be able to temporarily suppress, temporarily overcome, temporarily defeat these afflictions and prevent them from growing stronger within ourselves, as well as weaken our habituation to them. But bodhisattvas, though, they, adding to this, will also be focusing on cultivating the wisdom realizing emptiness, because this is the actual antidote that can eradicate them completely. But this takes considerable time to cultivate, and for us to develop this now is certainly useful, but is good to do, but we also need to become right now very skilled in the variety of antidotes. So for us as beginner practitioners, we need to be constantly vigilant, always watching for the afflictions, because once these emotions become dominant within us, it's very difficult to interrupt their momentum. We need to catch them, be aware of them as they're starting to arise, long before they dominate us. And as we become more skilled in this process, coming to understand what the afflictions are and their grave danger, we will then be able to recognize them with ever greater ease. But this requires constant vigilance. So we need to always be using introspection. And as soon as we notice an affliction, such as attachment, but any of them starting to arise, through recognizing it, knowing its danger, we then, through mindfulness, recall the antidote, second step, and apply it. And in this way, we can temporarily overcome that affliction, preventing it from dominating us.
Gileya miso mongba da mi mongbo tudu kalanga du samta de sosukulia ani mi shen le lula chakbe chakbaro chikebena lamsa shishingi du chine na kariki du samta de ot kariki yo ba da hago rowa chisa shishi hago yo de lamsa o dadi ngai mi shen yi lula chakbe chakba du chisa dadi digmare samche chabe nyemba tengu re sam jembe ke lamsa de da chabe nyembo de khodu de la nyembo kar tengu re labna denigi 저기 시행기 되는 차바기 유들 미두보kom이다. 아니 미두보kom바이나 안델이야 남사 대 차바기비게 차바 유들 미두보kom바이나 유들의 차바도 마시두고래 시두고래. 언디나신 저기 잘라당 되니게 매도라서 인지보 통제 되네야 직간서 캠양 좋아다 되니게 통도 남사 매도다 잘라다 되네야고 통도 될래야 다야 삼나래야 시신기 소소리아 삼노가라 고도문데 제바기 제야도 오다 유들레 착과지 개와 통수는 오다디 야고요 말아 삼제 대야 람산 젬베기 님부 땡고래 델라 님부 가르 땡고래서는 델야 기지기지 지바 땡부메바 아니 미다바 삼다야다 온두스네 두스 님부 땡바이나 안 델야 유들레 착과데 내갑 도도부 메바 쇠두고로
The way to cultivate this great skill of bodhisattvas, the way to develop mindfulness and introspection within us, is firstly to receive knowledge and then to reflect on this knowledge. So we sit quietly in meditation and we think about situations when attachment readily arises for us. Attachment, for example, we'll take attachment as an illustration, but this process applies to all afflictions. So we think of when attachment arises. So attachment will arise when we encounter an object, whether a physical object or a mental object. We recall something, we think of something. So we think of these objects that we either recall, think of, or we encounter, we hear, we see, we taste, in which attachment readily arises within us. So here, we're recognizing the situations that we do readily, easily give rise to attachment. So here we're preparing ourselves for when we're not in meditation and we're going about our daily business and the kinds of things we think of or we encounter that easily give rise to attachment. Then still in meditation, we go to the next step. What is the antidote that we need to apply? So here we think about literally the ugliness of the object, or to express this differently, its dissatisfactory nature, its deceptive appearance is perhaps best. Its deceptive appearance. Because whatever we attach to, whether it's something we're seeing or hearing or tasting or thinking of, attachment exaggerates its qualities, its qualities. So we need to remind ourselves as the antidote, those qualities are exaggerated. It does not exist in this way. So this is the antidote, reflecting on its dissatisfactory nature, that its qualities are exaggerated. And moreover, a second antidote is its impermanence. We tend to think of something that we tend to be attached to. We see it as exaggeratedly wonderful and think it will last in this wonderful way. So these are two antidotes. Its impermanence and that its good qualities, its exaggerated qualities, its desirable features, that's better. Its desirable features are exaggerated, firstly. Secondly, impermanent. So here we train in this way. Then when we're out and about, and let's say in meditation we thought, I love gardens, I love seeing the beauty of nature. And we utilize this in our meditation. Now we're in nature, we're seeing beautiful flowers. Immediately, introspection serves to remind us, now attachment has arisen. We've met the object, I can see my delight, my desire, my attachment for the object arising. Then, that's the role of introspection. Mindfulness reminds us of the danger of attachment and the antidotes that now need to be applied. That this flower, whilst beautiful, how attachment has served to exaggerate its beauty, and we're grasping it as being permanent, forgetting that it changes momentarily. As soon as the current conditions meet others, it will wither and it will die. And therefore, this exaggeration of the beauty of the flower is without valid basis. And in this way then, our attachment to that flower is weakened, and we can, through training in this way, become successful in overcoming temporarily our afflictions, such as attachments.
Döngam digi shukcher shejedu döngam dösha de shukcher shedu döngam shukcher shedu dösha shukcher shedu jisan dine zangara zule chi radio kable ne sosolya an shishingi samno na gar khobu mun samno chebache on dele döngam da denu digu döngam shukcher mu gigo baina on dele oda di döngam shukcher mu kena hanchi gale khago chagredi ya go marasam namsan dembigi denji nyembo dengu samje an nyembo khar dengu sen delya döshu choshe komgo reje döshu choshe dembigi lamsa delya döngam gibene döngam delya nyembo dembigi denji döshu adu choshe komyadi choshe komgo res denegi choshe kombaina 내가 döngam 안 shukchurnu gore döngam ya shukcher 주고 말아 안 choshe dengu reje 내가 가르치는 손을 내가 내 문주라 여러 통계는 무이라 되는 변주라 여러와다 어디에 고고디에 대한 숙체적으로 제 간실에 영음 숙체비게 있는 될에 뭐 담비가 남산 전체에 될에 초시에 공부 된고래 해지래.
Furthermore, in our training we look at in our work environment we're earning a living that that too is a place where a situation where desire, attachment is likely to arise readily. Especially, for example, desire for success, desire for achievement in whatever our profession is. So here we recognize that attachment is dangerous. Attachment is a cause of suffering. It is what keeps us bound in samsara. This is the case for all afflicted minds. Afflictions are never justified. So attachment, desire for success in our profession, this too keeps us bound in samsara. We recognize then that that our work environment too is a situation where attachment readily arises. And then we meditate, cultivate familiarity with the antidote. So here, an additional antidote could be the mind of contentment, the mind that is content with having sufficient. And this mind of contentment, content with seeing that what we have is sufficient, is contrary to the mind of desire that's always wanting more, that is never satisfied, that's unsatiated, always wanting more. So we train in meditation, and then when we're in our workplace, we earning our living with introspection, we watch out for this desire arising, this desire for success and to succeed and always wanting more. And as soon as we notice this mind sprouting, we apply the antidote. Through mindfulness, we recall the antidote. Here, contentment, seeing that what we have is sufficient, desire is misplaced. And then we apply it, the third step, introspection, mindfulness. Thirdly, the application of the antidote.
아니 지게 계시시도 갑레나데 류게 자와지도 갑레나데 가리네 직제바치도 계시도 지기 토네 샬레 네베 삼바 네비게 직수도 시기도 시기민도 삼마다 진디네 류주고네 샬레 네비게 지기도 지기민 삼다 시신이 파제바체도 시신이 하고에도 직수 시기여 바다 류주고네 샬레 네바로다 낭 셈기 토네 샬레 네베 삼라 코고여바나 시신이 하고도 올람사 오다디 빼야 이기네야고요 말다 등이 추림송 두고요 말다 진짜데 디 노트 침부 차고 진짜 추림 송고래 해서 추림 모선에 빼사기를 해서 배 추림 송야 데네기 샬라 네베 룽아유고네 자와지베 네바세 네베 레가데 디과레 제가 디기 아니 겨와치마 마선을게야다 안딩아주 강아녀야기 동아 규차고 제가 디스 빼사기를 해서 될 남사 어당이 데네기 샬리아 아니 세보kom야다 아니 콘도게 sable 세보kom야다 아니 룽아 유스미 예주이 파 dom주 추림 송고래 선배 dom고래 선배기 온도시 전시기 된제 전시기야 이나 저기 세나를 기기나 제바제네 어디 세나 세야디 당아 저기 디 미게바레 제사 디 제보 동아야래 제사 디 자와기네 야고요 말다 선배 남산 디 세나에게 독초들 님보대들 동외 셈바세 장고래 샬리아 동외 셈바 삼고래 셈바 두치네 님보대제 두치베네 코두코두 될이야 가실레 도나가 저기 가리 지금 뭐 끼에도 걸로 녀몽기데 님보 될이야 괜치다 괜치 디 제부 동아용고요 바다 디 야고요 말sam마다 안 될이야 님보 코두코두 대야기 님보 디 땡고르세 잠바게 잠베게 텐제 님보 코두코두 땡투고레스 디 땡바이나다 녀모바디 나는 코두 될이야 내가 매와 차두고레스 당아 중에 두치네 삼노다제 당보 코로네 디소양 삼노데 야네 양도 녀는 디네 제고레 선배 야네 양도 지 검시를 지 마곰바이나 안젤이야 거두들이야 디네기 땡투야 될까래 하고 차고로 디네자 녀는 아주 두시네 야네 양도 삼노 땅보에 되게 침부 차고로
양치 가리기 홀렸으면 되는 거죠.
님보 땡고야 돼. 야네 양도 님보 디제나 미두보 공부를 디니실레네 디스보 공부를 디니실레나 안지 다오세스 요로와 어디 님보 땡고야 되게 야네 건속이 두시네 삼당고 녀레네 삼당고 마도 녀레네 장도르메나 거두들에 남사 디 덴투야 갈래 하고 차기로와
As aspirant bodhisattvas, we need to rely on these guards of mindfulness and introspection, always taking care of our mind, being aware of our own minds. And as soon as we notice an affliction arising, such as anger, as soon as we notice anger arising, mindfulness, if we have trained well, immediately in dependence on mindfulness, the grave danger that anger poses will be recalled, and that the antidote of patience, the mind that stays undisturbed in the face of adversity, this is recalled. And then the third step, we apply the practice of patience. We apply that antidote. This we need to do with regard to our mental process, as well as when we with others, what we are saying, and whether we alone or with others, what we are physically doing. Always being mindful, always utilizing introspection. So it's through introspection that we are aware of our motivating intention, we are aware of which minds are present and arising, as well as through introspection, we are aware of what we are physically doing and what we are saying. We are aware of these processes through introspection. And as soon as introspection notices that our afflictions have arisen, or our physical behavior or speech is in accordance with the afflictions, this is the job of introspection, to notice this. To notice when mind of harmful intent, the wish for harm to come to someone arises, or when we're speaking to others in an abusive manner or in a harsh manner, or we're acting physically in a way that harms others. Introspection notices this. Then its companion of mindfulness recalls the grave danger of the afflictions. That these afflictions, no matter what they are, they cause us to remain bound in samsara. And then in addition with that, it recalls the antidote to apply. And then the third step is the antidote is applied. So for example, when anger is introspection notices the arisal of anger or the expression of anger, mindfulness recalls the danger of anger and the need to practice patience. Or if introspection notices miserliness, notice that we are being miserly, mindfulness recalls that this too is an affliction. It creates the bounds that keep us tied in samsara. Recognizing the danger of this recalls the antidote of generosity, the wish to benefit others. And then we thirdly apply that antidote. So therefore, whatever the afflicted mind is that arises, as soon as introspection notices it, recall the fault, recall the antidote, and then apply it. These three steps. In order, though, to be able to do this skillfully, we need to train repeatedly over a sustained period, because here we are trying to transform our way of thinking. Firstly, we need to come to understand what the afflictions are and their grave danger that they pose. In conjunction with this, we can also think about the situations where they readily arise, so that later we can be very aware when we're in those situations that this is a state of danger. But in addition to recognizing coming to understand clearly what the afflictions are and their grave danger, we also then need to become skilled and knowledgeable in the antidotes that need to be applied. So this is important. These are the steps that we need to gain prior familiarity with. Then thirdly and lastly, in addition, gain familiarity or habituation to watching our mind, not being absorbed in our thoughts or what's around us, but always being aware of our mental process. So these are the three steps: the afflictions and their danger, the antidotes and how to apply them, as well as gaining familiarity with being aware of our mental process in every circumstance.
Lalun sodunba nala chanshu semba namgi nyema dal chanshu semba ye nye le ya lam nyamlen ganes kas naware janju sem ge sai je la ya lam ganes nyamne du ganes na war du sus nang gore che she da deni ge janju sem ba de ge nyamne de ne na wa na she ngarang zu li ne ha ngarang zu ge janju sem ba nam ye janju sem ma ge nye le ya nyamne na shin ji nyamne ganes na wa di na chin an zu ye che nyamne je gu gore se dan deni ge je je ngarang zu ge la janju sem gyu le ge ba che ge 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 be zhe che 자 janju gyule ke so ba ina dinde janju sem ba nam ki da yang xian le ya di gi zhu ya dang pan du zhu ye nyam le ga nes nang go le se de den ma ji mang gu xie ba de cha sang cha da dom je su du ji ma dor du ji xie xia ba na da di re se ji ma xu ya re da ni ma
what this entire text has been presenting is how all those who've given rise to the aspiration of becoming a bodhisattva, all those who then went on to follow that aspiration, they trained in this way. And through training in this way, their aspiration was fulfilled. They attained the paths of a bodhisattva, they generated bodhicitta in their continuum. Having done so, continue to practice in these ways. The profundity and the expanse of their practice, of course, grew and developed. The practices continued. So we, who have given rise to the aspiration to become bodhisattvas, should follow this example, because independent on the commitment and the vigor we put into our training, we will give rise to that self-same result. We too will generate bodhicitta in our continuums. This is what this text presents so skillfully. The next practice then is a summary of all that has gone before. In brief, whatever I am engaged in, I ask myself, what is the state of my mind? With constant mindfulness and introspection, being of benefit to others, is the practice of bodhisattvas.
yang chi pa so du sten cham draw de slya ji be dine ka bi na da dine gi jelam shi se go draw du pa nya wa an cham jang ba de de ji jelam shi an di me se an lu gi shi bi ko ne ba shi bi nga gi jelam an lu gi ja ji lu gi jelam an sim gi sam na ta ji du chi de sim gi sam na ta thang on du chi ne ya gan de shi be na 소소기 대비 내가 비나다 조회 내가 비나다 녀회 내가 비나다 다 저거 가서 삼다야지 수수 삼는 날에 랑기 셈 비 내가 지다시 소소기 셈 날로야 가르가르 걸고도 셈 삼는 날에 다시 오래 제래 자도 또 수수 조회 내가 빌리는 삼 날에야 차 대신일 셔바나지 직 차다 차바게야 안 되는 게야 당 先来空着给了说吧，先来六百几百几，这个什么俺把这就考对民族什么大呀这什么来接吧去，在细心去接吧去，在那个什么去，在那有个有本呢，那么上这边个，你得了念不卡的定个有本的，念不点的，那个是这些年去吧那些念不点什么的，念不点的，然后在那个主要个不啦，俺说让人给什么哪里呀？ 先来偏不注意个事，先来偏别三了当，俺先来先给地区主要当，俺先来先给东岸些个短大了，三了单个对民族，这些这边细心个接不接，但今天三了考个没完呢，南上哦，但的这个嘛的考过了，这个呢先来只要过了，先来偏不注意的，先以第一些的主过了三边三了大街，南上这边个怕真正的，俺这个先来偏不注意的，先来。 你第一主要的先有东岸赛的基因上边个三了大呀，都是呢，怕主要个不呢，等来三大，他说对吧？说几步了去那的，那个话去对不个不呢？那三了哪里呀？俺这对下空着牛毛几对面对几三大，等那个 직 되셔 control ngaja nyomo kaya no 직 된데 기계 봐 시징 하고 거서나 남산 될라야 님보 된지 봐 깨마 주바 가야 당 안되니기 아니 기회 삼로 아니 코와라 니중기 니중의 삼로디기 고기도 민도 제바지야다 안에 안직 마시 진진 현래 잠바 닝제 언제 심전탐 산요고바 토바 쇼선배 삼로디기 고기도 민도 삼다 남산 고기 매바이나 저서 남산 어디서 냠는 지역어디 냠는 지역어라 삼제 되네야 코와라 니중기 니중고미야 타바 톱제기 지도 타바 되니게 삼다야 안에 도시네 안직 현래 시신 심제 탐지 진 첨부 임바 진 전바다 그진 첨부 전야 안 심제는 젤 잠바 고미야 니주 고미야 전주심 고미야 되게 도전 대비 갑래나 되는 삼당고래서 그래
지금
담보니가 숨바로 샤스다
Looking at this verse together then, as it says here at the beginning, whatever I'm engaged in, whatever one is doing, whomever one is with, wherever one is, we always need to, as it says in the second line, be aware of the state of our mind. This is the advice here for bodhisattvas, as well as aspirants such as ourselves. Whomever we are with, whatever we are doing, we need to always be aware of our mind and the resulting physical and verbal behavior. So whether we are moving around, or whether we are just sitting, or whether we are resting, we need to always be aware of our minds and the resulting physical and verbal behavior. This is a key practice of bodhisattvas. And we do so through the application of introspection. The mind of introspection is always aware of what mental processes are arising, as well as our physical and verbal behavior. So this is a key training. Always be aware of our own minds, no matter what we are doing, especially when we are with others, but also when we are on our own. Because when we are on our own, we're not likely to explicitly bring harm to anyone, being alone, but we are harming ourselves through the lack of usage of mindfulness and introspection. And this is because on our own, the afflictions continue to readily arise. On our own, we can sit and have harmful thoughts to others, thoughts of attachment, jealousy, and so forth. Always, whether we are alone or with others, whether we're engaging in activities, whether we are just sitting or whether we're resting, always rely on introspection to be aware of our mental state and our resulting physical and verbal behavior. And with a companion of mindfulness, as we see here in the third line, with constant mindfulness and introspection, as soon as we notice an affliction arising, we remind ourselves of the grave danger of this affliction. And this is important. Never thereby to be deceived that this affliction is justified, that this affliction is minor, it causes no harm. It's afflictions that keep us bound in the suffering realms of samsara. The smaller ones grow into the bigger ones, and they all only cause harm. So therefore, as soon as introspection has recognized the presence of an affliction and mindfulness has recalled the grave danger, it too will recall the antidote, and then we need to apply it. We can apply it in the variety of ways, especially where we have the mental capacity at the time, the space and the freedom to apply a more continuous thought process. We should remind ourselves of the grave danger of this affliction, the need to apply the antidote, and also remind ourselves that it's this affliction that is causing us and all beings to be suffering. It's this affliction that is preventing our achievement of even temporary happiness, and certainly that of lasting stable happiness. And this role of the afflictions and this presence in my mind is shared by all beings. all suffering beings. Suffering beings suffer under the influence of the afflictions just like I am now. In the same way this affliction is harming me now, it harms others too. We are all the same in desiring freedom, but we are still as ordinary beings the same in that we suffer under these afflictive minds. And so where we have the freedom, the space to engage in this thought process in our daily activities, use it in this way to strengthen our commitment to destroy all the afflictions and thereby to definitely emerge from the suffering realms of samsara. Moreover, utilize this opportunity to remind ourselves that others are in the same pitiful situation as ourselves, and use this then to generate bodhicitta, reminding ourselves of the great kindness that others have shown us, this intimate relationship we have with others, our responsibility to develop ourselves into a skilled practitioner so that we can alleviate their burden. So this longer thought process we cannot engage in many of much of the day because of our busyness, but where we are quieter, where we are on our own, where we are just doing mundane activities of very little importance, this is where our thought process should be. And in this way, we take all that we have learnt in this retreat, what we've developed in the meditation sessions, as well as in our daily practice, and we reinvigorate it throughout the day, reminding ourselves of the dangers of the afflictions, the need to eliminate them, to emerge from samsara, and that we need to do this for the sake of all beings. So this is a skillful way that even us as aspirants to the bodhisattva paths, that we can practice.
Tikbigi nyomo be samlo kan ski du sate ya shijingi jam shijingi jebache shijingi da deni nyomo be samba deni garishi ne kewa tongyan de lamsan tele ya nyembo tie je ane jambiki jinje jambi odadi nyembo ditingu ure se jambiki jambache je ya nyembo tie da samna le ya gewe samlo gariki du mendo rang jeba jimbige samlo di kowana ane je rang xianle jeba jimbe samlo dang ane jimba chujun sueba zonjun nyamlen jege samlo gewe samlo digi kogu de gar kogu du mendo samlo dang jeba je 전시기 같이 시진기 제바체도 다 가르치고 유명하고 그러 되네기 다 기회 삼는 막 호화로 지네 되네기 남사 기회 삼는 되게 아니지 코와는 예중 거면 되네기 아니지게 샘제 남절에 잠복 거면 니죠 거면 아니 계서 되네지는 공고에서 잼비기 진제 남사 되 겁나디게 잼비게 삼다 거면다 다 랑치진지 삼바 뛰어는 될이야 님보때 디도쇼 다 현재받으면 삼을 공부고래 선지 전제받으면 삼을 공 나도 전에 전주선바 남기 나를 냠는 제비 전주선 마기 녀려야 두선은 냠는 제제 양내 양도 공주 두선에 두선 더 뒤나 전주선만에 가르쳐 봐서 뒤다 남바 공도 전주선바디게 전주선 마기 녀려야 아니 소수길에 녀모게야 가라가라 기고도 스베 될야 녀모다 랑치진 삼모 가르 기고나 제 시시게 다 되네게와 통선은 디수 녀모다 랑치진 삼바델이 균다제 녀모게다 녀모위 되게네 니 제보 동아요아레 랑치진게 삼바델라디네 랑신이가를 동아요아레 제사 디수 닝부기네요 말했으면 될에 녀모데 매봐서야다 되네 아니지게 어다 랑치진데 도초다 현재받으면 삼로 따바네 디베 연된 첨부 될라데네 나저 체대당 개와치마 하다미 고방토와 탈바다 탐지키 고방토야 차사 현재받으면 삼모들레티네 리고레 제상 근데네 자 현재받으면 삼단들레 연된 때야다 안디다네 딩하네다 아니 간주 진배냠네 수진냠네 쇠배냠네 파신주기 냠네디길레 연된 따제 대소 강투두 제디 배제제제 두체네 전주선마기니레 두수시네 냠냠냠네 두시 하네 야도 섬도 곰디 태제 아니 디자 두스 냠네 나와레스 다 전주선 기에 차베네 기에 차네 되네양 제 게디유나 생이 동화세야다 디기 주야리야 시신기 셴리야 가르치네 판도사레 코슬라 콜리야 가르치고도 콜로든 가르치고 콜 판도 가르치고도 가리 판도라서 시신이 파 누구 제바 제제 시신 하고 될에 잼비게 람상 오데 콜레 디숭고레 디셰벤 콜라 판도치 디벤도 동아 세투레 디기 줍투그레서 제제네 누시네 이니 아니 전주선반남기 다 균도 제나 시신 덴바이 현된 주바 제세 라tin 신 뒤단 남바콘도 덴바된 시신 진비 토네 아니 생기 현리야 디게 세야다 생기 디기 주비야다 동아세야래 현라 펜바 뒤단 남바콘도 도스인데 냠네 난고레스네 전주선 마게 녀레 되네 냠네 나와래 예산에 도스네 냠네 난고레체 안 돌드나 데데 아 지기 되네 난고레제다 도스야
In this training, what should be very clear, we are being encouraged to do, is to be aware of our minds and the resulting physical and verbal behavior. We do so through relying on introspection. And as soon as introspection notices an afflicted mind starting to arise, mindfulness recalls the grave danger that this poses to ourselves and others in the immediate term and the long term. And the mindfulness also recalls the antidote. Then, in dependence on having recognized the grave danger of the affliction, we then will readily apply the antidote. So in order to be skillful in this, we need to embark on extensive training. To train here, there are a number of steps that we need to go through. We need to, in each of those steps, we need to become skilled. So we need to become skilled in understanding what afflicted minds are. And if we only understand on a coarse level, we will only recognize coarse afflictions. So therefore, we need to hear many teachings and reflect on those so we can start to understand the subtler levels of the afflictions. Then secondly, not only do we need to understand well the afflictions, but their grave danger. This needs to be a vivid clarity to us, so that we never are deceived by them again, thinking that they are justifiable, or that in this circumstance it doesn't really matter. And in addition to this knowledge of the afflictions and their danger, we need to then know the antidotes to those. We need to, and knowing the antidotes means we have come to recognize the non-virtuous minds. Now we need to come to understand the virtuous minds. Minds such as generosity, love, compassion, ethical restraint, patience, and so forth. These we need to come to understand. And again, we need to come to understand them in a profound manner, because if we only understand these virtuous ways in a very rough manner, their strength will be weak. And they certainly will not be able to overcome even slightly subtler afflictions. So like with afflictions, the virtuous minds too, we need to understand them well and in great detail through hearing and reflecting extensively. The deeper our understanding, the more effective we will be in our practice. So on the side of virtue, we need to understand the antidote to apply these virtuous minds, as well as then how to apply them. So this is imperative. These two groups of trainings, each with their two parts. Recognizing the afflictions and their danger, knowing the virtuous minds, and how to apply them. So this, as aspirants to the Bodhisattva paths, we have to come to know this. And in particular, from the perspective of someone who aspires to become a Bodhisattva, we need to understand the grave danger of the self-cherishing mind and its pervasiveness. We need to understand the great benefits of the other cherishing mind. So this, from the perspective of someone who aspires to the Bodhisattva paths, is crucial. We need to understand the danger of the self-cherishing mind and the great benefits of the other cherishing mind. And as we gather this knowledge, and we gain familiarity in our meditations, and then we start to gain skill in acting under the influence of our meditations during our daily activities. We're strengthening our habituation to introspection, strengthening our habituation to the virtuous minds and the application of them. This is important. This is important. So for us as beginners, we primarily need to guard ourselves against the afflictions, coarse and subtle, and become skilled in the application of their antidotes. Once we have developed these trainings well enough to the point where we can actually arise as bodhisattvas, our practice then changes somewhat. And that is because a bodhisattva is so profoundly different to us. We now find ourselves strongly habituated to the afflicted minds. As we see in the preceding practice, we are greatly habituated to the afflictions. And therefore, these are what we guard against primarily. A bodhisattva, on the other hand, once they have given rise to uncontrived bodhicitta, through their extensive training, they have become a bodhisattva, which means they have not only gained great familiarity in the afflicted minds and their dangers, but they have in particular gained great familiarity and skill in the antidotes. In other words, in the virtuous minds and how to apply them. So a bodhisattva finds themselves in a vastly different position. They are strongly habituated to virtue. So virtue readily arises within them. They readily encounter others with a feeling of closeness. A very different situation from ourselves. So therefore, bodhisattva's practice changes. They still rely on mindfulness and introspection. But their introspection is primarily looking for the influence of the self-cherishing mind. Because this pervasive self-cherishing mind is what the bodhisattva strives to eliminate. And they eliminate it through the primary antidote, the other cherishing mind, as well as the wisdom realizing emptiness. So bodhisattva's training is somewhat different from ours. The practices in terms of the relying on mindfulness and introspection, this is the same. Antidotes are the same. But because of their greater familiarization to virtue, unlike ourselves who are now still greatly habituated to afflicted minds, the trainings do differ. A bodhisattva finds himself always ensuring through vigilance, through introspection, not only looking for the presence of the self-cherishing mind, but also ensuring that they are always looking for how they can benefit beings, whether they're alone and they're benefiting beings indirectly, or they are in the presence of others, looking for ways they can help beings temporarily, and also in the ultimate way, guiding them to develop the causes for lasting, stable happiness and eliminate those that would lead to suffering. So this is the state bodhisattvas are in. Ourselves, we need to be very aware of the dangers of the afflictions, what they are and the dangers of the afflictions, as well become very habituated as much as we can to virtuous minds and apply them with diligence. So this then in brief is how to practice as both an aspirant to the bodhisattva paths, as well as in brief how an actual bodhisattva will practice.
Geshe Semba Yenye la dus nyamle naware, Geshe Semge san dus nyamle nangore che, ta Geshe Semba namgi nyamle che ta dus nangore che chi ya shu charwa. Dini zada ngao ji ne digi chi lap chi le di Geshe Semba digi nawa na shin che ngao ji ne an chi gando draw ina da ba ina da ne nyewa ina dini kabli ya an chi sosu le semle ya jeba che an chi tempa da shi shin ten sosu la nyomong ba da and the Dusha Control Naja, Shannon Nibe Samba, Lunga Yusumki, Jeba Duksha, Ambatiki, Jigdi Mindus, some Shijing you do Shijin, Shijing it, the Nick Thompson Lamsa, Delia, gyön tong gyön da wa de a de ne gi gyön da wa de ge chi mo cha go re chi sang a du chen da di ba do ma so ko wa lo tar ma tu ba di de sha she da di mo nyom mo bo wang so nyom mo wang ge da le sa che de di na ko wa le tin ha de sha chi sang da di gyön pe ma su gyön chi mo re sha sam na an da de ba do so so rang ge da nyom mo le gyön da che an de ne yang so so rang ge 안 대다데 바도 신앙아주 탈바다 탐지기 먹고 뭐 토마토바디 소소리 코발이야 지견 다제 탈바토비기 내중 고마토바다 탈바도니 삼바디 고마토바다 샹리아 안 잠니제 전주 셈라소바다 파진주기 냠는 제마토바디 이견진을 하와레 디네 인자다 디리네 예 디네기 녀몽바디게 봐 기야래야 가dom체야다 딘 잼비기 짐진데 코와서 닝보 균이요 말해서 코와딜레데 타고 그래 셈비게다 전시 된제 코와라 니준 고미야 디네 아직 아주 귤라케와 현来判别上面개와의 잼비기 된제 오다 현세의 변바시 진천보래 현라라 게딘 천보래 제사랑이네 현来判바 두고 그래 삼제 잼바데 판심 고미야 대신 semja 탐제다 대화의 템바도 동화다 자고도 sembe게 근데 되네게 잠바 된지 안 저게 잠니죠 거미야 that's 되네게 semja 탐지게 되는 사요고 바토버 쇼 sembe게 안 되네게 자주 sem고미야다 되네 파진 진바 수준 세베게 연된다 연된 대소라 되네 아주 공발에 되네 탈바 탐지기 먹고 톡톡을 되네서 네딘스 냠내 가도 지도 지긴스네 만족이 되네게 잠바다 시신 시신게 된지네 안디송한 쪽에 야네 양도 두신의 당번은 되니 지긴세베 삼로나리아 데리시 야네 양도 제다 되네 되네게 소소 라렌데야 고가브라데 기디나 아니 강토도 제어야 돼 당한 쪽에 아데디리 게셀라르 소디마시비게 냠는 조어데 당도 디시와 되다 더드나 코와레 녜중 게 되네 탈바도에 삼바게하다 대안에 랑지고 많이 말씀제 탐지기 된다래야 삼다 한심제 탐제 잠바다 니주곰 심제 탐지기 되는 산유고바 도바 지긴세베 자주 셈고냐 안디토네 네 룽아 예수 니저 때문에 수림다 진발라 소바다 쇠바다 전주 되네 몰람데비야 되네 삼대기 고미야다 셰르비 고라야 삼다 언두스네 야네 야동한 수 베주제디 예치 못하고로 지난 전주 셈 코로나도 얘네 녀마티네 제바로 되네 제네 전주 셈 길에 예송으로 만주이나 되네게 냠네 제바이나 아니 전주 셈 길에 계기 고합지 라기로와 되네 라바이나 다 전주 셈 바디게 다다 현来 판바까지 두바 나진 안 주이네 되네게 판바 주투로와
What's presented in this verse then is how it's in brief how an aspirant bodhisattva should practice, as well as how an actual bodhisattva practices. We should do the same, following the example. As we seeing in this verse, the importance of introspection and mindfulness, apply it no matter what we are doing, where we are, whom we are with, whether we are engaged in an activity, whether we are still, whether we are with others, whether we are on our own, whether we're in meditation, whether we just quietly on our own, whatever we are doing, utilize introspection and mindfulness. This is a key practice. Whatever wish you have given rise to enter the paths of the bodhisattva, it's through the reliance from right now on introspection and mindfulness that this will be achieved. So I encourage you to practice in these trainings continuously. And what that primarily means is rely on introspection and mindfulness continuously. Then whatever one is doing is likely to be in accordance with the bodhisattva trainings. Always guard, so us as aspirants then, always need to guard our mind through introspection for the rise of the afflictions. To be skilled in this, we need to have come to recognize with vivid clarity the grave danger of the afflictions. We need to understand that they are the cause of all suffering for ourselves and others. Every suffering being is suffering because of the afflicted minds. Their presence causes us to suffer in the short term. The karmic results that come from them cause us to suffer in the long term. It's these afflictions, no matter their strength or type, that cause us to remain bound in the prison of samsara. It's these afflictions, no matter their type, no matter their strength, that cause all beings, all suffering sentient beings, to be bound in the prison of samsara. These faults of the afflictions need to be vividly clear, because then, through mindfulness recalling that, then the next step with mindfulness, the recollection of the antidote, is much more likely for us then, lastly, in the third step, to apply it. So here then, as aspirants, we need to be clear of what the afflictions are and their faults, and then we need to be very clear on the virtuous minds, which are the antidotes, and how to apply them. So this comes about through training in love and in compassion, training and prior to that, training in recognizing the pervasive nature of suffering in samsara and its cause, so there's all the afflictions, as well as then how all beings are trapped in the same position, desiring freedom. And we at least have an intellectual understanding of freedom, but others don't even have an intellectual understanding that freedom is possible, let alone how to achieve it. And moreover, through training in the practices of such as recognizing the kindness of others, our responsibility to repay that kindness, love, compassion, bodhicitta itself, and then the practices of bodhisattvas such as generosity and ethical restraint and patience. We need to train in these because these are our antidotes. These are our antidotes. And the more skilled we become in these, the more effective, the more readily we will apply an antidote, and the more effective it will be. So therefore, hopefully it's clear that if one trains in all these practices that have been presented thus far, then it will become clear to one what the afflictions are, the grave danger that they pose, and the wish to be freed of them. In other words, the mind of definite emergence. Moreover, through training in this entire sequence, one will become skilled in their antidotes, the virtuous minds, the minds that are contrary to the afflictions, minds such as ethical restraint, generosity, patience, and so forth, as well as the others specific to the bodhisattva paths of love and compassion and bodhicitta itself. So this is what we need to train in, and we become skilled in this through going through this entire process as presented in this text. And as we become more skilled, our interactions with others will bring about ever more benefit, we are less likely to bring harm to others. And those interactions with others would be whether we are directly interacting with others or indirectly. Because it's through relying on introspection and mindfulness that we will ensure that even when we are on our own, our mind stays virtuous, our thoughts towards others are loving and compassionate. When we observe others as acting in an afflicted way, we ensure that anger doesn't arise, criticism doesn't arise, but rather love and compassion for the suffering being arises. So it's my sincerest hope that having heard this presentation then, that a strong yearning has arisen within you to enter the path of the bodhisattvas and to commit oneself to training in the various practices of the bodhisattvas so as to do so. And the way to make this training effective and continuous is through relying on introspection and mindfulness, because it's through relying on introspection and mindfulness that whatever we are doing, whether alone or with others, we can ensure that our mental process is in accordance with our previous meditations. And in this way, in our daily activities, whether we are alone or with others, through relying on introspection and mindfulness, we can ensure that those minds we cultivated in meditation, those are the minds whose influence we are acting under. So every bodhisattva in the world trained in this way in order to become a bodhisattva, and they continue to train relying on introspection and mindfulness even now as bodhisattvas. So therefore, as aspirants ourselves, we should follow the example and applying ourselves with vigor to the practices of bodhisattvas through the reliance on introspection and mindfulness. So I'd like to now share a quotation with you from the Buddha himself, from a sutra. Mindfulness and introspection are the root of all the varieties of virtuous dharma that have been described.
lam nyamlen chedu kablaya gar chiguye me ganes chiguye ma tenshi she dangbo ti ni ba ti chego ba de she jing de pa ga nyamlen gewa jiu de me do nyamlen jiu de me do je ba che de she jing da yo de nyamlen je ba je jego ba tong yo de an jambi ge ti dian je ya di je le di ko me de pa den ko me ti pa jambi den ba je de ne gom je je ma jo ba je jambi zin je an du chi no jambi zin je gom je de 전 shi jing de zawa cha go de ne gom de ya ge dang go le je le.
Here the Buddha said explicitly what has been presented in this practice. Mindfulness and introspection are the root of all the varieties of virtuous dharma that have been described. Whatever virtuous activity, cultivation of the paths of bodhisattvas, the abandonment of the afflicted minds, whatever virtuous activity depends on mindfulness and introspection. So it's in reliance on the practitioner being skilled in the application of firstly introspection and then mindfulness, that everything that causes suffering, everything that impedes spiritual development is overcome. And moreover, all good virtuous qualities, all attainments on the path, and all progression towards attainment of paths, these all come about in dependence on relying on introspection and mindfulness. And therefore we are being encouraged that whatever we are doing, whether we are alone, whether we're with others, this is our practice. With introspection, being aware of our mind, and our resulting physical and verbal behavior. And as soon as we notice that it's not in accordance with our spiritual aspirations, recall the faults of the afflictions, bring to mind the antidotes, and apply them. Then I want to share a quote from Shantideva's Bodhisattva's way of life. With folded hands I beseech you who wish to guard your minds, always diligently guard with mindfulness and introspection.
and diva pang se di zo nga zo sem le da je sem nyuen mo be cho so ma dang wa je sung ku go re je re sem nyuen mo be cho so ma dang wa je ba ga de ne sem ge yu cho so dang je ge yu cho so dang je gom ri je ge wa gom ri je yar ge dang go re se je sa de ne yin za de ne che be na nga zo dung ha ba ya da di yu tu tar ba tam je ge bo go top tu go re se je sa sem nyuen mo be cho so ma dang wa sung wa de le ya 가르고 것은 남산 시징이 있다지 녀모부터 조구되면도 시징이 있다 하고 남상 누구 요바이나 잠배 땡제 야 녀모 주서 마땅하지 바까 아니 녀모 때 아니 셈 계획 주서 야 땅제 셈 계획 주서 땅제 안 될야 잠배 진제 계획 주서야 돼 아니 잠배 진지 마지바 아니 잠배 진제 야 야네야도 누가 철서 땅 보레스 제산 디네 땅 고wen자 베베 탐제 베베 송식스의 베주 침비진의 전시신 베주 침비진의电제 셈녀모 초소 송제 마당 송 계획수도 따야 돼 전시신 베주 침비군의 电제 냠는 제고래서 지상 셈송 되바시의 셈녀모 초소 송제 탈바다 탐지 kimbi고 봐 토역이 되어 이현절라 아니 되는 시고래서 아니 나네 대다 탐어자라시의 지상 데니기 냠는 제로지 스능에 결혼절이야 라바 탐어절지 라구여스 아니 결혼절이 제로지 스네 아니도 제고그레스네 숨구여스 그러다
Shantideva says here, with folded hands I beseech you who wish to guard your minds, always diligently guard with mindfulness and introspection. He's stating here very clearly the need to rely on introspection and mindfulness, because in order to spiritually progress, in order to attain freedom from suffering and pain, in order to be of true lasting benefit in others, we have to accumulate merit and eliminate non-virtue. This is essential. And in order to do this, we have to guard our mind. The mere aspiration is insufficient. We have to guard our mind, and guarding our mind against the rising of the afflicted minds, no matter how weak, no matter what kind, always have to guard ourselves against the afflicted minds, as well as generate virtuous minds which are the antidotes. And it's independence on relying on introspection and mindfulness that liberation and enlightenment is achieved. This is because cyclic existence is the result of contaminated karma which has come about in dependence on the afflicted minds. Therefore, through not guarding our mind, we continue to create the causes for suffering, for samsara. Whereas, through guarding our mind and applying the antidotes, we create the causes to achieve liberation and enlightenment. Here then Shantideva, who is beseeching us with folded hands to guard our minds with introspection and mindfulness, and to do so diligently. In other words, with great vigor and consistency. This is what is required to do. And if we do rely on mindfulness and introspection with consistency, repeatedly over a sustained period, and with great effort, then we will achieve spiritual progression. We will achieve the attainment of all the bodhisattvas and the great bodhisattvas.
Ahora dere da ngazu diringi da yoga she da deshi she ba na jin a zui na da jik de ba dan zhuo wa dan ka lo che wei na jian ba na xi xin gi su su gyu le nyom mong ba de gi du min du an du sam da nyom mong ba ge ge ba na tong son ne lam san zhen bi ge de li ya nian bo ding gu ri san bi ge da ngazu jiang duo jie de ne jie jiang duo jie ya dang ane yang jik de ne gi nyom mong ba ge ya du ane de ne gi nian bo den tu ya jie de ge qi mo cha go je za de ne za sem song ba de je za da nga zuge so so ra ge nyam len chi de ka bla da su rum so ya da jimbe nyam len cha su be nyam len cha de so yong gu de min do ge we sam lo de ge li gu de min do sam ta de ne ge ji le ma le ba che sem nam ya da sure de ba ye ba na am sa xi xin ha go de jam ba den je o da ding jin de go ma che san ge we nyam len chi ko re sem be so so mi sam lo di dang gom go re sem be sam ta je nga zuge ji ge rang xian le phe be sam ba dang and the person to be nyamnen delea to chebana yende chetedang yewa chimada rangda shen tarbata tamje kimbe goba to be chasa la denegi nuba denish to del de solete de tobudu simbe de yende samta je de so gangyon ji yong nga zuge semleya gang tu de da da di membege da lunga yusumge shen le nebege jawadang and jige da jige pashin 주리 도초기 예비직 lungas 예바 가래네 대소 차사 안에 랑치진 삼바티 차사 안에 지기 교행 장자래 대소 장자 대소 삼통나 대소기 제보 동아자야 요야마도 요 말에 세사 되는 인사 대소 균이 깨네 야보민도 삼제대 꾼다제 on do chinanga some daje, Yane Yadu, Samnala Kum Shedi, that Yeshimuti Chagor, that is Shebata Chigwaranga Yamna Jetade, on do chere, that is Jovigiti, then you would have shared it, then Geshe and Geshe Papa Tom, Geshe Thome Sambiki, and Korangi, and that the Geshe Lale, Sodium Matima, Sheshabaki, Kiawatikia, and then Moaja, and Dikorma Shere.
Summarize what we've looked at then this morning, that whatever we are doing, wherever we are, whomever we are with, ensure that we have the companions of introspection and mindfulness. Introspection, always seeking out the afflicted minds. And as we become skilled in this, we'll start to see, as they're starting to arise, we'll recognize them. And then, through our successful training, mindfulness will immediately remind us of the grave danger that each and every affliction always poses. And then mindfulness too will remind us of the antidote. And independent on our prior training, knowing the grave danger that all afflictions always oppose, we'll readily, skillfully apply the antidote. And amongst the wide variety of antidotes, it's that of ethical restraint, restraining ourselves from coming under the influence of the afflictions. That is a primary antidote. Moreover, we've heard over the course of this text, of the presentation of this text, many other antidotes such as love, compassion, generosity, patience, and so forth, all which need to be applied. And we do so with the motivation that knowing the failure to apply the antidote, the failure that would be to allow the affliction to arise and dominate, is contrary to all our aspirations to enter the bodhisattva paths. Having a mind dominated by the afflictions, acting under its influence, is contrary to the aspirations that we hold. So therefore, keeping in mind this goal of becoming a bodhisattva, strive with diligence, and do so moreover with the wish to bring benefit to others, both on a temporary basis, but also the ultimate benefit of us through becoming skilled practitioners, being able to guide others to achieve their own state of lasting happiness. And the further point to make with regard to introspection, it has a dual function, not only of guarding against the arisal of the afflictions, which we've primarily focused on thus far, it also serves to ensure that our virtuous minds are remaining manifest and dominant. It's introspection that knows. It's an introspection that is aware that we are now acting under the influence of the other cherishing mind. We are acting now under the influence of wanting to alleviate the suffering of others. We are now acting under the influence of love and compassion and patience and so forth. So introspection has this dual purpose, guarding against afflictions, as well as ensuring that that virtuous minds remain manifest. And then the third point I want to make in summary is, as you become skilled in this, watch for the self-cherishing mind, because it's the self-cherishing mind from which all the afflicted minds do arise. So as you become more skilled, watch for this subtle self-interest, the self-obsession from which all the afflicted minds rise, and rather ensure that our motivation is sincerely one of the other cherishing mind. So to be able to cultivate all these practices of bodhisattvas depends on our introspection and mindfulness. And for us to become habituated in this way, we have to repeatedly train over a sustained period, becoming familiar with watching our mind in meditation and out of meditation, when we are alone, when we are with others. And this will come about through training repeatedly over a sustained period. So therefore, this is my hope, that you make great endeavor to do so. So this afternoon we'll conclude by coming to looking at how all this virtue that has been accumulated here, the great bodhisattva, the Arya bodhisattva, Thogme Zangpo dedicated it. So this is where we will commence this afternoon. Thank you.